I don't think I'll be coming to science. So I feel it. Still real and
Hello? Hello?
good afternoon, sir.
Hello? Is anybody there?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello? I'm not to mute. Oh, not to mute. You are taking, you are only keeping one with me. Let him have, so you are going to just sit down, you are following now. Just hold on. I'm trying to set up. I'm supposed to have a Zoom class at 2, but I don't know how
We can hear you, sir.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear
Can you
me?
hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes, sir.
you.
Okay. So good afternoon. Yesterday we were looking at just give me we were looking at Somebody was asking a question about minimum tax, consolidated relief allowance, and all that. Just give me like 1 minute. Students. Who Labi, I didn't hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This part.
Okay. That's good. Let me check if it's okay. If I missed anything. So yesterday we were looking at Professor Sunny will start with you on Wednesday, and then I gave you a CA. All right, so we'll see. All right, go and fill up. So Professor Sunny was I gave you a CA. Did you get the CA?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Okay, you are going to answer all.
Yes, sir.
You are going to answer all questions. You are going to answer all questions. You are going to answer all questions, and then you are going to submit two types of answers. Physical copy. When you submit the physical copy at the CIS department, you will sign a paper there that you are submitting. And then you are going to send me a soft copy by 3 p.m. on January 15. Don't send me anything after 3 p.m. I will not container, I will not look at it, I will not mark it, I would think you are wasting my time. Please, I gave you instruction, and I'm giving you, today is 12 of December. So you have 1 month. You have like 33 days to work on it. Anything after 3 p.m., I will not, you can go and report to Professor Bolo Deoku, the most senior lecturer. I will not touch it. Is there any question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes, sir.
listening. I'm listening.
Yes, sir. For the physical submission, sir, what of those that don't reside in Lagos, sir? Is there a way that they will be able to submit?
I don't know. I don't know. It's the person that has to arrange how that person will submit. Because I need to have an evidence in the future. Somebody say, oh, I submitted. Oh, I did not submit. Oh, I did this. I need to have evidence with me that I got this and I did not get that. How you submit it is your own. I'm not going to tell you who to send it to your friend, to your enemy, or anybody. I am not going to tell you. All I want is physical copy must be submitted. And then
Okay.
soft copy must be submitted as well. How you submit, I don't know. So I think that's praise, Abby. Is that
Yes, sir.
praise? There's another person raising up his hand.
No,
who's that? Sir? If I've answered you, can you stop raising up? There's another person again. Who else?
Good afternoon, sir. Is it 15th you are submitting it? Or
I can't
10th?
hear you.
Because
You are
good
talking
afternoon,
to.
sir.
Yes.
Sorry, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I was asking that, are we submitting it on the 15th or on the 10th? Because you wrote 10th in the assignment paper.
I didn't write 10. No, did I write 10?
Yes, sir.
No, look at the day. What date is there?
Hard copies must be submitted
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Maybe you're talking from a
hard,
headphone.
hard copies must be submitted on or before Friday, 10th January 2025.
Okay. What about the email?
The email is the same day, sir.
It says 10.
Yes, sir.
So you must submit by 10.
Okay, sir.
That's Friday, Abby.
Yes, sir. Friday.
Friday 10. Please, you must follow the instruction. You must follow the instruction on the you must follow the instruction on the document. Why it's important is that I need to have an evidence, because in the end, some people go and write complaint. Oh, I submitted. Oh, I did this. Oh, I didn't do that. I need to have evidence that the person did not submit or the person submitted. You understand? So I need evidence. That is why I need everything to be done the right way. I need evidence that either the person submitted or the person did not submit. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay. Is there any other question on the CA? Is there any other question on the CA before we go into the lecture? The CA is going to be 15 marks. Professor Sunny is going to give you a take-home to write essay, 15 marks. So both CA will be 30 marks. Exam will be 70. Please, do you understand what I've just said?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My own CA is 15 marks. Professor Sunny is going to give you an essay question to write as well. That will be 15 marks. The exam total will be 70 marks. So if you can score 25 over the CA, all you need is another 15 marks, and then you have passed 40. So once you are through, I need to go on to the lecture. If you have any question, please ask me now. If you have any other question, please ask me now so I can assist you before you go home. Because of the peculiar nature of the school, I can't see you, you cannot see me, everything is online. So we want to make sure that nobody is prejudiced. Everybody, because you are not coming here. I don't know, until January or March. We don't even know when you are coming back. So we want to make sure you have your CA on time, everything is done. So I think all the CA will be done. I think so. I'm not saying it will be done by take home. There will be no question CA. The way I see the way the things are going now, only exam will be will be physical. But my own now is this thing. So we stop at section 10. We stopped at section 10 of Peter, which talks about how to calculate when a person is deemed to be resident in Nigeria, and then it will be subject to tax in Nigeria. And we said that the person must be working for an employer in Nigeria, part-time or full-time, and the person must fulfill three elements in addition to working for an employer in Nigeria. Number one, the person must derive income from a fixed base in Nigeria. A fixed base, he must derive income from a fixed base in Nigeria. So if a person is working for Shell, maybe the person is an Italian, he comes to work for Shell in Lagos. Lagos office will be the fixed base. And if they pay him salary, that will be income. Person is a consultant. Maybe he came to Nigeria to work as a visiting lecturer in Unilag. Visiting lecturer is an Italian. So he has a fixed base in Nigeria, which will be Unilag. Number two, the person must have stayed in Nigeria for 183 days in a 12-month period. It doesn't have to be 1 year, it's a 12 months. And in addition to that 183 days, the 183 days will include temporary absences, vacation leave, and training period and all that. And number three, the country of that person and Nigeria they must have no double tax treaty between them. There must be no double tax treaty agreement. For example, if Messi comes to play football in Nigeria, there's no double tax treaty between Nigeria and Argentina. So if the person now stay 183 days and derives income from a fixed base, liable to tax in Nigeria. That's all for that. Do you understand that or you don't? Okay. Now, we are going to the next page.
Sir, sorry, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead. Quickly.
Please, what is a double tax treaty? Can you just explain that?
Okay. Generally, if you have that statute with you, if you have a company income tax, you see double tax treaty there. Number one, two countries can enter into an agreement. Let me give you an example in Nigeria. We are going to go back to that question that you asked. In Nigeria now, some people live in Ogun State, like Mowe, Ibafor, Akuti and all that, and they work in Lagos. And the employer will deduct their payee tax and remit it to Lagos. So Lagos and Ogun State, they now enter into into an agreement by which Lagos people that are working in Ogun State, people living in Lagos State that are working like in Agba, that work in Lever Brothers and all those things, Ogun State will keep the tax, and Ogun State people that are working in Lagos State will keep their tax, and then some portion will be remitted to Ogun State. So there's an agreement between them. The same thing, if Victor Osimhen is playing for Italy, Nigeria has double tax treaty with Belgium, I know Switzerland and some other countries like that, like UAE. Like UAE. So what happened on that double tax treaty is that the two countries would apportion so that there will be no conflict. They will agree on which income will go to one country or the other. For example, if a Nigerian footballer is playing in Belgium, the double tax treaty between Belgium and Nigeria will allow Belgium to keep the salary. But the income from endorsement, from bonuses, from jersey, from sign-on fees may come to Nigeria. So the same thing, if a Belgian too comes to work in Nigeria, Nigeria too would allow some part of the income to go to Belgium and some part of the income to come to Nigeria. So what happened is that with that double tax treaty, both countries would agree to give one income to one country and give another type of income to the second country. So if an engineer comes to work in Nigeria and the person is earning, salary, travel allowance, leave bonus, and some other packages like that. Okay? Between the two countries, they could agree that Nigeria will keep the first 6 months, and then the other country will keep the next 6 months. So it's an agreement, it's a double tax agreement between the two countries by which they agree, instead of fighting over the income all the time. Oh, Victor Osimhen is from Nigeria, so all the salary should come to Nigeria. Oh, Victor Osimhen is played in Turkey or Italy, all salary should go. No, no, no. The both of them will enter into an agreement by which the two countries will agree to share which one will go to Nigeria, which one will go to the other. So that's a double tax agreement. So if there's a double tax agreement, this person who has come to Nigeria to spend 183 days, we don't care again how many days the person has spent. Each country will now take what has been agreed on. But if there's no double tax agreement, then we use those divisions again. Then we use those calculations. Okay, now we use those calculations under the double tax treaty agreement. I mean, if there's no double tax treaty agreement, then we use all those calculations under Section 10. But if there's double tax treaty agreement, then we don't use any of those calculations. We just stay with what is stated under double tax treaty agreement. Do you understand now? Or you still want me to explain further?
Please explain further. Especially that last part. It's just that last part. No, I understand it. It's just that last part where you said if there is no double tax treaty, then they are going to.
Then we are going to follow the requirements under section 10. We have to see if the person has been in Nigeria for 183 days, whether he derived income and all that. So, but if there is double tax treaty agreement, we already know what we are going to use, the double tax treaty agreement.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
If there is double tax treaty agreement, that will govern. If there is double tax treaty, but the double tax treaty must be what do you say under that section 12 of Constitution? It must be domesticated. But that's another issue. So either there's double tax treaty or there's no double tax treaty. If there's double tax treaty will govern. If there's no double tax treaty, then this thing will govern. The section 10 calculation will govern. So let's go to the next page so that we can do something before Monday. 1 second. Yes. People are coming in and going out. So let's go to page is it page 12? Where is Mr. Onyekon today?
Yes, sir, it's page 12.
Page 12. So we want to see the two types of income. There are two types of income. Please go ahead, tell us.
Personal income taxation, law and practice of direct assessments, principles and rules. Sir, should I start from the definition of income?
Yes, let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. What is income? There are two classes of income, earned income and unearned income. Earned income. Earned income derived from a trade, business, profession, vocation, or employment carried on or exercised by an individual, and pension derived by him in respect of any previous employment. It is a reward for effort. Examples are salary, pension, profits, or income from trade, vocation, or profession. B. Unearned income. These are incomes from rent, dividend, royalty, discounts. These are also known as investment incomes. Note.
Okay. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Note.
Yeah, no.
There is no definition of income in the statutes. Thus, the case law assists us to define income.
Okay. So there are two types of income. As you know, if you're a lawyer, you will go out in the morning. If you're a lawyer, you wake up in the morning. You wake up in the morning, go out, prepare for your case, and then you prepare for your case, and then you go to court to argue the case, you meet the client, you will struggle. If you're a bricklayer, you go buy cement, buy all those things, and then you would make the concrete and build. If you're an engineer, you will take some actions as well. Whatever you have, there are some things you will do that would you have to go out. If you're a teacher, you would buy data, log into Zoom and all that, teach your students and all that. So that's an active income. If you're a footballer, if you're Davido, you will sing, jump up and down the stage. But there are some other incomes as well. Some people like Onyekon, whose grandmother is very rich. I'm sure you know Onyekon Abayomi Road in Ikoyi. That's Onyekon's grandmother's street. She has a lot of houses there. So if the grandmother now leaves some houses for her, so Onyekon can be collecting rent every year. The tenants will pay her like 200 million naira rent. So in that way, Onyekon does not, whether Onyekon is sleeping or she's enjoying herself at Bar Beach or Lekki Beach, the money is coming in. Those are passive income. If you have shares in company, every year they will pay you dividend. So those are, if you are a footballer and you have jerseys, okay, which you sign on, and they're selling the jersey, they say on every jersey that is sold, they will give you the company like Adidas or Nike or whatever will probably give the footballer or basketballer $1 on each jersey that is sold. So the footballer doesn't have to do anything, can just stay in his house. Every time if they sell 1 million jersey, he will get $1 million. If they sell 10 million jersey, he will get $10 million. He doesn't care. He doesn't. So those are passive income. The same thing, I'm sure when you make a call, you call, sometimes you use the MTN or whatever, you hear some people's song there, maybe the Bucci. So they may agree to pay that guy, Bucci, they may pay, the MTN might pay him maybe 10 naira on every time a call goes out and his lyric is playing on this thing. So we make it 10 kobo, 10 naira on each call. Guess how many people are using MTN lines a day? Guess how many calls and all that. So those are passive income. Those are like shares, investment, interest. If you lend somebody money, if you lend me 10 million naira now, and you say your interest is 10%, which will be 1 million naira. So that's a passive income, except you're a bank, because you don't have to do anything. The money will just be coming in. So those are passive income. So there's a case in Nigeria let's also see what happened in Aderawa's Timbers. You must know that case. In that case, somebody bought a piece of land, and then there were some timbers on top of the land. So the buyer, the purchaser, wanted to clear the land so that he or she can construct something on the land. And then after cutting down the timbers, somebody offered to buy the timbers, and the timbers were sold to that person. And then the revenue came and said the new landowner was selling timbers, that the person made an income from selling timbers. And the case went to court. And the guy argued that he was not a timber seller, that for that to be a trade, he should be doing something every day. And the court held that no, that he has made money from selling timbers. Okay? The court held that he has made money from selling timbers. So you don't have to be doing something every day. You can do only one thing. The same thing happened if you go to page 13, The same thing happened in Abico Limited versus FBIR. What happened in that case is that there used to be a building almost across from the High Court at Igboshere, used to call the law school hostel. People lived there for, in those days when there was only one law school. So students would live there. So the company bought that building and they decided that they were not going to use that building anymore. And then the company now sold the building to another person. And when they sold the building, they made a lot of gain. The court held that that Abico was a property seller, and therefore that it realized some income from the sale of that building. Now it doesn't matter if it's just one single sale, that one single sale was enough to become a seller. So in Nigeria, in both cases, in Adirawas and Abico, the excess of their holding is that once there's an outgoing, once there's a gain, from that gain, you subtract the outgoing, the expenses. Anything made is income. For example, if you bid, if a student here bids for a place in hostel, maybe in Marere or Jaja, and students now get a place to live there, and students decide to sell it to another person to stay there, and the new person, and let's say student paid, how much is it to bid? How much do you pay to bid for hostel accommodation? Does anybody know?
It depends on the hostel.
Okay, give me the one at Jaja.
Like 100,000.
Eh? Hello?
Like 100,000.
Eh?
Like 100,000.
No, from the school will charge you 100,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you now sell it to somebody else, how much do you sell it to the new person?
It depends on the discretion of the seller.
Okay, how much? No.
So maybe it's 100,000.
Okay. So now what those two cases are saying is that if a student now pays 100,000 to bid for hostel and is successful, and then after getting the placement, then now turns around and sells it to a second student for 200,000. So the first student has made an income from that 200,000, which is 100,000. That means you subtract the outgoing from the gain, from the gross income, you have at the taxable income. So it doesn't matter whether the student is doing it only one time or two times or three times. The effect is that the student has engaged in a transaction activity and he has made an income. Now, so let's go to, like if you look at section 12, we are still on page 13. Section 12 talks about dividend income. So if a person, if anybody here, if that person makes, has a share in another company, or Mr. A, Mr. B, they put money, Mr. A, Mr. B put money together and then decide to go into a business, maybe to import rice from Cotonou and sell. So if they now make gain from that and they divide into three places, that they're making each of them is already a dividend from that business. So that is an income under section 14. Statutorily, it's income under section 13. The same thing, interest from loan Please, can somebody help me check section 15, or is it section 5 of it? Can somebody help me check section 5 in the Peter? While somebody is checking interest as well, interest on loan. If read one lends me 100,000 and is charging me 10% as interest. If at the end of 1 year, I pay the 100,000 back to him, as well as I gave him, I pay him 110,000. That is the 100,000 return of capital and the 10,000 interest. Under section 14 of Peter, the interest, the 10,000 is income. The 100,000 that is not income, because that is his own money originally. The return of it's just a return of capital. But the interest that is charging is income. Has anybody checked section 5 for us? Section 5.
Yes, sir.
What does he say?
Okay, so section 5 of Peter says that is the valuation as to living accommodation. Section 5.1 says where any premises in Nigeria are made available to the occupier by reason of his or his wife's holding an office or employment, and A, the occupier pays no rent for the premises, or B, the rent which the occupier pays for the premises is less than the annual value of the premises.
Okay,
the employee...
hold on. Okay, so what he's saying is that that's what called BIK, benefit in kind. Section 5, if you can write it down, provides for benefit in kind, which is income. Benefit in kind, BIK. Section 5 says that if a taxpayer or his wife or his spouse, whether it's a man or woman, has an employment, and then from the employment, either the wife or the husband has a house, is given a house by the employer to live in, and they are paying either no rent or they are paying rent that is less than the fair market value. That payment they are not making is income, or the amount that is less than the fair market value is income. Let me give you an example. Under section 5, if Onyikon and her husband, the president of Nigeria, no, let's say, let's not call, maybe she wants to marry a president, but let's say she wants to marry a lawyer like herself, and then they are working for Chevron. I mean, Onyikon is working for Chevron. And then Chevron now gives Onyikon a property in Lekki, and the annual rent for the property is 10 million naira. And they ask Onyikon to pay 1 million naira. So how much is Onyikon's income from the use of that property? Does anybody know?
9 million naira.
Exactly. Who answered now?
It's me, Rahima.
Okay. Why do you say 9? That answer is correct, but why do you say 9 million naira?
Because if the value of the property is 10 million and she paid
No,
1
you have to
million,
give me the authority first. IRAC, issue.
rule application. Okay.
Okay.
So according to section 3F.
Okay. Well, section 3F, but I think section 5 actually deals with it. But go ahead, yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say for section 3F, I was going to say that anything that does not apply to...
That was not listed up. Yeah.
Yes, that was not listed as anything accruing to income is going to be taxed. So according to section 5, since Oyinkon did not since Oyinkon is the taxpayer and she did not how do I word this? Sorry, give me a sec. I know.
Oyinkon got the property by virtue of her employment.
Yeah.
No, you have to say everything, no?
Okay,
yes.
Yeah. Since Oyinko got the property by virtue of her employment,
yes.
Under section 5 of Peter, under section 5 of Peter, that has accrued as income because she's not paying the value of the
If
property.
Onyekon got the property by virtue of employment, Section 5 says that we must recognize income either where the taxpayer is not paying rent at all, or where the rent is being, the taxpayer is paying is less than the fair market value. In this case, Onyekon is living in a property that she also have been paying 10 million naira, which is the fair market value of the rent, and now she's paying 1 million naira. The employer is collecting 1 million naira for her. So because of the difference between the 1 million and 10 million, Section 5 says that Onyekon must recognize income to the extent of difference between 1 million and 10 million. Are we all together?
Yes, sir.
Anybody with question? Benefit in kind demands that there must be an employer-employee relationship between the occupier and the employer. Either the employer will be employing either the spouse or the person directly. Now let's go to section section 19. There's a radio talking beside somebody there. Who's that person? Somebody's unmuted. Okay, the person is off now. All right. So, section 19 and third schedule. Those of you who have the statute with you, you're going to tell us what's the third schedule. Can you open the third schedule? The people that have the statute with them. So, section 19 talks about income that are exempted. But note the word, it says income exempted. So if you have a question in the exam, you must also recognize the income first. Then that income is not being exempted. For example, if I say that all students that finish from International School of Lagos, ISL, are exempted from going for orientation. The first thing is that a person must qualify as a student first. Then, before that person is now getting exempted. So if there's a question that talks about exemption, you must also recognize the income. Is it an income first? Then you now move to the issue of exemption. So if you see that, so if you use the hierarchy issue now, say there are two issues in this case. The first issue is there an income? Second issue, if yes, is it exempted? Don't just go and start talking about the exemption. You get 50% of the mark. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got it. So you must recognize the income first. So section 19 says that some income are exempted, even if they are income. Section 19 says that there shall be exempt from the tax all income. There shall be exempt from the tax all income specified in the third schedule. Okay? Can somebody, I said, who has opened the third schedule for us? Eh?
I've opened it.
No, you have to talk loud though. Is there anybody with a loud voice? The person is talking either from headphone or something. Okay? So, can you talk louder? Are you talking from a phone or from a laptop?
From a laptop, sir.
Okay. Are you far from the laptop?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Is there another person? Okay. Okay, let's go ahead. What's the first thing exempted under the third schedule? So, 4 we go to section 19. Section 19 now directs us to the third schedule. Okay, before you go on, can somebody remember what the sixth schedule talks about? The sixth schedule.
Yes, sir. It talks about tax income rates.
Okay, exactly. So we are knowing the schedules one by one now. All those should be in your hand. The sixth, number 6, EFA. Is that Bokoy or Tokoy? Tokos. That talks about the rate of tax, which is a progressive one, 7%, 11%, 15%, 22%. Now we want to look at the third schedule, which talks about income exempted. So go ahead. What's the first one?
The official emoluments of the president.
Your voice is shaking. Is there another person who can talk loud?
Sir, I'm in the third schedule.
Eh?
I'm in the third schedule. I can read that too.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us the first one, exemption.
Okay, the first one, deductions allowed.
No. The third schedule.
Yes, section 20.
No, the third schedule, not section 20. The third schedule to the Peter.
Sir, I'm at the third schedule.
Okay, go ahead.
The income set out in this schedule are exempted from taxation.
Yes.
The second and third things listed have been deleted, but subsection 4 states that the emoluments payable from the United Kingdom funds to members of visiting or other forces and
Don't worry about that one. Let's go to the next one. Skip that one.
Okay. All consular fees received on behalf of a foreign state or by a consular office or employment of the state of his own account, and all other and
So
all
consular fees that they pay to consular officers are exempted. Next one.
Interest accruing to a person who is not resident in Nigeria as specified in the following subparagraphs.
Next one.
Okay. Interest on any loan granted by a bank to a person engaged in A, agricultural trade or business, and B, the fabrication of any local plant and machinery.
So if a person gets a loan from another, if a farmer gets a loan from another, maybe from a bank, and it's for agricultural purposes, the interest on that loan is not taxable. That is to encourage investment in agriculture or local manufacturing. Next one.
The income of a national of the United States of America from employment.
Next one.
The income of a national of the United States of America.
Next one.
Number 10 has been deleted. Number 11, an income in respect of which tax is remitted or exempted under the provisions of the Diplomatic Immunities and Privileges Act of
Next
any
one. Next one.
The income of a local government or government institution.
Next one.
The income of any income of ecclesiastic, charitable, or educational institution of a public character, insofar as such income is not derived from a trade or business carried out by such institution.
You must note that one. What that one is saying is that if a person forms a church, a mosque, or traditional religion, the income is exempted. Ecclesiastical means that spiritual things. So if you become a pastor, the income you make from that church is exempted, except if the person now engages in trade or business. We're going to explain that. So if a person engages in spiritual activities like becoming a pastor, an imam, or an herbalist, okay, and the person prays for people, and people come to give him money for those prayers, those monies that were given by the worshippers to the pastors, they're exempted. They are not income. Are you with me? They are not income. But if a person now start to sell handkerchief or makes a CD of music, Christian music, or wasi in Muslim, makes a CD and start to sell the CD, okay, that person, or the person is an otomoko, there's an herbalist, and now put charms and now start to people, or holy water or whatever in bottle and all that. So that person now is no more making income from his spiritual activities. Now that person is now selling CD, just like Davido, just like Sunny Ade, just like any other person making music, Ashake. So what that section is saying is that under the third schedule, under section 19 and the third schedule, if a person engages in ecclesiastic activities of a general character, that person is not charging, is not discriminating anybody. Anybody can come to the church, anybody can come to the mosque, anybody can go to the Babalawo or to the herbalist, Dibia. So it doesn't matter. Any income that tied to offering or donations or all those ones that are given to the man when he's preaching, whether it's 200 million, that's not income under section 19. But if the person now starts to engage in trade or business, for example, if he starts to do things like he now builds a hostel, the person now builds a hostel in the church or in the mosque and say, come and stay there. One night, I will charge you 10,000 to stay there one night. That person is now acting like an hotel. So he's now doing business now. It's different from when he's praying for people. Can you read that in again? Read that section again.
The section 13?
No, the one that says income of ecclesiastical, educational, and charitable.
Okay. The income of any ecclesiastical, charitable, or educational institution of a public character insofar as such income is not derived from a trade or business carried on by such institution.
Okay, so number one, if it's a religious activity, ecclesiastical, the income must come by virtue of carrying out ecclesiastical matters. Number two, it must be of a public character. Number three, the person must not have engaged in business or trade. So if the pastor now starts selling handkerchief, starts selling CD, starts selling magic pen, if you write with this pen, you pass your exam. That person is now engaging in trade. But if all he does is to lay hands on your head and say, go and pass this exam, I command the answer to appear to you in your dream, and you pay him 10 million, that's not income. But then it must be of a general character. Everybody must be allowed to enter that church or mosque. The same thing if it's education. If there's a school that is open, that is of general character, it's only to give education to people. Okay? And the owner of the school is now charging money, and it's open to everybody. The income is exempted. That person is making income, but it's exempted from tax. That person is not going to pay tax on that income. But if the owner of the school starts to sell uniform, books, shoes, start to sell certain things, then that person is now going to recognize income from things that the proprietor of the school is selling. Then, if you go to Covenant University and they say by force, and the school says now you must come to the chapel, then the school is now not of a public character. It's now limiting itself to only people who believe in a winner's activity. Or if you go to Al-Hikmah University, and the school now says everybody must come to the mosque to do subui, ashrin, and all those. So that means the school is no more of a general character. It's now open only to Muslims. So the income will not be exempted. Or if the school now says that you must buy the books that we are providing, you must buy. I think in Caleb, the school is providing food for the students. That's what I heard. You cannot cook in the hostel. So the income from that cooking is income. The money paid by them for eating is income, because the school is now acting as a caterer. So there are two cases on the one is Atlantic University. The other one is best student educational services. The first one says in Atlantic University, Atlantic schools, what happened in that case was that somebody challenged it and said, well, the income, because the school is charging high fees, like about 2 million naira per term. The person now said that the school is not of general character. The court held that the income is still of general character, that the owner of the school is free to charge any amount for the students, that insofar as the school is open to anybody can go there. It doesn't matter how much they are charging. Then in best student services, the court looked at whether if a person does not incorporate the business, it will still enjoy. If the proprietor of the school does not incorporate, the proprietor will still enjoy the benefit of exemption. And then the same thing with charitable organizations like Red Cross and St. Martin de Paul's, Ahmadiyya Society, and all those people that do charitable organizations like the Caritas that helped during the Civil War. So any income that those charitable organizations make is also exempted. So if anybody gives them 2 million naira, 2 billion naira to go and fight COVID, that income is exempted. So if you form a charitable organization, I know one of my students here about 3 years ago formed Makoko Initiative or something like that, and people are giving him money. That is not income. But if he now starts to sell cap or t-shirt, then that will be income. So for charitable, ecclesiastical, and educational institution, it must be open to the public. All the income will be exempted, except where the person is now engaging in business, like selling handkerchief, selling t-shirt, selling caps, or running hotels, residential lodging. Do you have any question about that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah, we need to move fast. What is it, sir? Quickly.
Yeah. Sorry, sir, you mentioned that. I want to ask, does owning a school fall under this?
Yes, if it's individual, not
exemption.
incorporated. Yes, it falls under that. It's educational institution. It's an educational institution. Yes.
Okay, but for let's say redeemers now, they own a school. So are we saying that the income generated from the school will not be taxed?
Yes. If they are not, if all they do is to provide education and it's open to everybody.
Okay.
Everybody can have you applied there before?
No, sir, I have.
Okay. If you apply there, then it's exempted.
That is exempted even though we are paying school fees.
Sir?
What about if we're paying school fees?
Yeah, that's income now. The focus is not on you, it's on the proprietor. It's the income of the school that we are talking about, not you. We don't care about you. You pay school fees, the guy collects the income. Yeah, it's exempted. It doesn't. If you pay school fees of 200 million, yeah, if you're able to pay, the guy he collects it. That's not income. It's exempted. Yes. What's your question?
Sir, please can you mention the cases again? The two cases that you mentioned.
Okay,
with respect to schools.
I will send it to you ASAP.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's so what's the next one? The person reading from the starting.
Yeah, section 14(1). pension granted to any person pursuant to any enactment or law for the time being in force. Sub 2 states wound and disability pensions granted to members of the armed forces of any recognized national defense organization or to a
Yes.
person injured as a result of enemy action.
Okay. So if a person, you know why, you know what pensions are? Pensions are given when a person retires. So the income that is contributed to pension for a person is exempted. So if you are supposed to earn 10 million and you keep one, if you don't contribute to pension, you'll be taxed on that 10 million. But if the employee chooses to contribute 1 million to pension every year, that 1 million is not taxed. So the rationale, the reason behind that is that so that the person, when they are old, they will not depend on government. They can take care, they can live off that pension contribution. It makes sense, Abby?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you put money aside, retirement, you put money aside for your future, there will be a time now that as young, as beautiful as you are, as handsome, that you will be working with walking stick. You know that there will be one time, whether you like it or not, that your grandchildren will be saying, "Daddy, don't sit down there." And then you say, yes. Oh, you'll be asking your grandchildren, what's your name again? But if you're asking your own children, what's your name? The one that you gave birth to, that you trained for 30 years in school, because you are old now. So at that time, you can be living from your pension. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when at that time, the pension contribution is exempted from income. What's the next one?
Section 15 has been deleted by the Finance Act.
It's not section, it's item.
Sorry, item
Go ahead.
15.
Yeah, go ahead.
Item 16. The income of a trade union registered under the Trade Unions Act, insofar as the income is not derived from a trade or business
So trade
carried
union,
on.
like Law Student Society, Nigeria Labour Congress, trade union, Law Student Society, Nigeria Labour Congress, Lagos State University Student Union, any other union that you know, all the annual dues that you pay, that people pay to those unions, they're exempted, except insofar as they do not carry on business. A typical example is the Lagos State University Student Union. They used to have buses, Lasusu, that apply from Maitu to Agbara. So they are doing business just like any other. You see, they put Lasusu on the bus, just like any other bus, just like any other bus, just like any other commercial bus. Such is income. Okay? Such is income. Such is income, because now they are now engaging in trade or business. But the law is that any income that anybody makes from any state trade union, any income that a trade union makes is exempted from income. Trade union, whether they got law society, medical society. So what's the next one?
Item 17. Gratuities payable to a public officer by the government of the Federation of a state in respect of services rendered by him under a contract of service with that government and described as gratuities either in the contract or some other documents issued.
Gratuities is just like pension as well. Okay? It's paid on account of the number of years that you have worked. The person has worked for you every year. You'll be earning gratuities for the number of years that the employer has worked for government or for private person. Such too is not subject to tax. Why? The person has lost his job already. Okay, this person has worked for Unilag for 40 years or 35 years, and he has lost his job. So let him just go home and enjoy, Abi. Then you want to start taxing his money again that he has accrued over the years. No, he has let him go. He's an old man now. Okay, he can't be jumping up and down on the street. What's the next one?
Item 18. gratuities payable to an employee in the private sector in
So
respect
just
of
like I just
services
mentioned that, don't worry,
rendered
I
by
just
him.
mentioned that now. So all gratuities, whether working for government or working for private person. Oh, but there's a limit on that one. How much is it? Can you finish that? Sorry.
Okay, gratuities payable to an employee in the private sector in respect of services rendered by him under a contract of service with his employer and described as gratuities either in the contract or some other document issued or on behalf of the employer in connection with such contractor. There's no amounts there, sir.
Okay. So it's gratuities. Once a person has worked, that person will be subject to certain number of years. You get some gratuities accounting for number of years that the person has worked. You get some credit. So if person has stopped working, that person will get credit, will be paid for the gratuity. So that one too is exempted because why? The person has lost his job, so it doesn't matter. We are not going to punish him further again. Okay, that person can just go home. Next one, please.
Items 19 and 20 have been deleted by the Finance Act of 2019. Item 21 says the income of a statutory or registered friendly society insofar as such income is not derived from a trade or business carried on by such society.
Income of friendly society.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For example, we have which state are you from?
Oyo State.
Oyo, okay. Let's assume you have Oyo State Student Union or Ibadan people. Ibadan society in Lagos. Those are Egba descendants. Omagege. Those are friendly societies that are meant to make sure that people fraternize, to help each other. Okay? So if a person now makes income from that, if that society, friend society makes income, that will be exempted. That will be exempted so that people can continue to, because these societies, by taking care of their members, they are taking some burden off the government. So it is encouraged. But if they now start to engage in business, for example, like we said, they now start to open